You get it? Well, I hope you do. In Ivler versus Modesto San Pedro, okay, this involves Ivler, who was involved in a motor vehicle accident, no, that led to the death of the driver and slight physical injuries to his wife. The fiscal decided to file two informations. One, reckless imprudence resulting in homicide before the RTC. The second, reckless imprudence resulting to slight physical injuries before the MTC. Okay? Matalino at nag-aaral yung abogado ni Ivler, hindi umaasa sa digest. So, ang ginawa niya, nag-plead siya ng guilty sa reckless imprudence resulting to slight physical injuries. And then, before the RTC, reckless imprudence resulting to homicide, he said that should be dismissed because it violates the right of the accused to double jeopardy. Sabi ng piskal, ha? Hindi ah. Double jeopardy talks about the same offense. This is not the same offense. Sabi ng Supreme Court, it is the same offense because reckless imprudence is just one crime. It is a single crime. The consequences on persons and property are material only to determine the penalty. So, hindi dapat pinaghati yung crime into two. Isa lang yun eh. So, nung nag-guilty na siya sa first, it bars the prosecution for the second. Okay? In PS Bank versus Bermoy, this is a case for falsification of a public document, no? Against the accused who umutang sa bangko, nag-falsify ng titulo. Okay, huli. Unfortunately, sa prosecution, no, unfortunately, during the pre-trial, identity was stipulated upon. That means hindi na kailangan i-prove ng prosecution yung identity of the accused as the ones who actually executed the document. Ang problema, for whatever reason, it was not reflected in the pre-trial order, that stipulation. And therefore, that cannot be considered as a stipulation because nag-aral naman kayo ng Crim Pro, di ba? Any stipulations, in fact, must be recorded in the pre-trial order and the accused and his counsel must sign that to bind them. If they didn't sign it, it will not bind them. So in this case, hindi nakapirma yung accused. Walang evidence proving the identity of the accused. So, tag-file ng demurrer accused. Granted. Pwede ba mag-appeal? Wala nang appeal. Okay? Why? Because this is a dismissal on the merits. Although the demurrer was upon motion of the accused, it was on the merits because of insufficiency of evidence. So, hindi mo pwedeng i-claim na mag-a-apply yung estoppel dito or waiver because it was a dismissal on the merits, okay? Even if it was upon the instance of the accused, no? It is actually an acquittal kasi. Alright? Here's Frilorta versus Firme involves a poor guy who was wounded slightly, no? Skin deep yung wound. Kaya lang, exploratory surgery, medical attention given him, led to an infection and nagkaroon tuloy ng surgery that led to his death. Okay? Pero ang charge against him was slight physical injuries kasi skin deep lang injury. So the relatives filed an appeal, not of the conviction, but the civil aspect. Because as you know, di ba, generally, when a criminal case is filed, the civil case is deemed impliedly filed with it. So in other words, hindi naman nila ina-appeal yung conviction ng slight physical injuries eh. Ang ina-appeal lang nila yung 500 pesos. Yung civil damages. Can that be done? Supreme Court said, of course it can be done because double jeopardy does not apply to the civil damages. Right? However, although the civil damages may be appealed, no, it cannot go beyond the crime that the court has already declared to have been committed. Okay? So in other words, while you may still appeal the 500 pesos award of damages, no, hindi pwedeng tataas yun to go beyond the crime. Slight physical injuries ang conviction eh. Skin deep, supposedly yung wound. So, pwedeng i-appeal mo yung 500. Pwede maging 550 yun. But not more than that because the crime is still slight physical injuries. But the important lesson here is you can appeal the civil aspect. Double jeopardy does not prevent the appeal of the civil aspect. In People versus Judge Vergara, here there was an information for murder and frustrated murder filed, no? But the accused sought a reconsideration. Okay? Now, please take note, alam niyo na to. In such a situation kasi, based on CrimPro, there is a point in time that there are two simultaneous proceedings going on. Diba? After mag-PI, probable cause determined by the fiscal, pa-file niya information sa court. Right? At that moment, di dalawang nangyayari. Bakit? Nasa court na yung case. Pero alam niyo naman, pwede pang i-appeal to. Yung finding ng probable cause. So in this case, in-appeal. Reviewing fiscal said, oo nga, mali yung fiscal. No? Yung investigating prosecutor was wrong. Withdraw that information because there is no probable cause. Okay. So, punta siya sa court. So from this process, punta siya sa court. Sabi niya sa court, move to dismiss the information that we filed. Dismiss. In the meantime, nagtuloy ito. Nag-appeal from the reviewing fiscal umakyat to the Secretary of Justice. Secretary of Justice says, teka, mali yung reviewing fiscal. May probable cause. Refile mo yan. Okay? Ni-refile. Sabi ng accused, hindi na pwede. Okay? Bakit? Sabi ng accused, double jeopardy. Tama ba siya? Tama siya. Okay? Bakit siya tama? Because when the trial prosecutor asked for the dismissal of the case, it was without the express consent of the accused. Remember, dismissed or otherwise terminated without the express consent of the accused. If they sought the consent of the accused, the decision would have changed. But they didn't. Okay? So it was a dismissal or a termination without the express consent of the accused. In People versus Relova, earlier I told you to focus on the difference of first sentence and second sentence. People versus Relova shows you why. Okay? Bakit? Kasi dito, nahuli ang isang ice plant, no? May illegal connection ng kuryente. Huli. Problem was the fiscal charged him first with violation of an ordinance, unlawful installation of wiring and devices. Worse, prescribed na yung crime when he filed it. So dismissed. So now he filed a second charge before the RTC, theft. Because ang illegal connection actually, class, sabi ng Supreme Court, is power theft pag nanakaw ng kuryente. Okay? Accused pleaded double jeopardy. Sabi ng fiscal, hindi yan double jeopardy. Two different offenses yan. Tama. Pero sabi ng Constitution, di ba? When offense punishable by an ordinance and a statute, di ba? Conviction or acquittal of one is a bar to the other, involving the same acts. So even if they are two different offenses, but they involve the same acts, then double jeopardy will set in. Okay? Kaya please take note of that, ha? And then there is Nieras versus Dakoy-Koy. Well, dapat alam niyo na to, no? Sabi niya, double jeopardy daw because charged with estafa and BP22. Okay? Now, is that double jeopardy? No. Sabi niya, it's the same offense. Ang cost nung BP22, yung issuance ko ng check. Yung estafa, yung issuance ko ng check. Same. Okay. In contrast to People versus Relova, this falls under the first sentence, not under the second sentence. Because theft and estafa are punishable under statutes. Okay? Although they involve the same acts, they are two different offenses. Walang double jeopardy. Okay? Finally, Vincoy versus CA. This is a preliminary investigation that was dismissed. He refiled it. Jeopardy? Wala. Because before jeopardy attaches, it must be before incompetent court. The fiscal is not a court. That is preliminary investigation. So jeopardy will not attach. Okay? An earlier dismissal in a preliminary investigation will not prevent the refiling of the same case for the same offense. Why? Because jeopardy does not attach in preliminary investigation. Okay? Last section, ex post facto law and bill of attainder. What is an ex post facto law? Alam nyo na yun, retroactive. Basically, it is a retroactive application of a criminal law. Punishing something, no, that was not illegal when it was committed, no, and then later on punished. No? Retroactive application. So may iba-ibang forms ang ex post facto law. Sabi ng Supreme Court, statutes that make act punishable when the act was not yet an offense, no, when committed. Creating new offenses that aggravate the seriousness of the crime. So kung naging mas serious or nagbago yung penalty or pinadali yung prosecution, any of these that makes the effect on the accused worse after he has already committed the offense, that is an ex post facto law. And that is prohibited. Okay? In Wright versus CA, he claims that the extradition treaty was an ex post facto law. Bakit? Kasi Australian siya, he was charged with a criminal offense in Australia, tumakbo siya sa Pilipinas. Ba't siya tumakbo sa Pilipinas? Kasi nung pumunta siya sa Pilipinas, wala pang extradition treaty between Australia and the Philippines. Unfortunately, nung nagtatago siya sa Pilipinas, nagkaroon ng extradition treaty. And on the basis of that extradition treaty, nahuli siya. Sabi niya, the extradition treaty is an ex post facto law. No, argument niya, wala pa kayong treaty nung tumakbo ko sa Pilipinas eh. Sabi ng Supreme Court, unang-una, an extradition treaty is not a criminal law. No? So, that's not an ex post facto law. Okay? It is just an agreement between two parties. The criminal aspect will be there in Australia, not here. So, extradition treaty is not a penal law. Therefore, it cannot be considered as an ex post facto law. Okay? Now, what is a bill of attainder? O, yan ang paliwanag ng Supreme Court. Intindihin nyo na lang. Bill of attainder basically is a law that finds guilt without trial. So, halimbawa, naalala niyo yung reliyon ko, yung banal na butas. Naalala niyo? Okay. So, kunwari, pagpas sila ng law, sabihin lahat ng miyembro ng banal na butas ay mga erehe and therefore dapat parusahan ng pagkakulong ng 10 taon. Okay. So, by law, pinakukulong na kami. That is a bill of attainder. Okay? That is prohibited. Why? Because it deprives the accused of due process. Diba? It is Congress that simply said we are guilty and it should be punished without even trying kung guilty nga ba kami or whatever. Okay? Clear? Okay, class. With that, we covered the entire Bill of Rights. No? So, I will end the session here today and tonight. I hope you learned something throughout the semester, though there were many interruptions. No?